Hello, 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 guys. How are you doing today? My name is Kim Douglas. I'm coming to you guys from Prosperous Property Investments. Just coming to share a couple prosperity points to help you out a little bit in your life, help you out a little bit in your business. Today's prosperity point is going to be a real estate tip. So, yes, we are going to talk about BRRRR investing, like BRRRR investing. Have you ever heard of that? Maybe, maybe not. Are you doing it? Well, if not, I'm going to give a general overview of it and just give, an explanation about it. And maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but it's good to know. It's good to have more tools and tricks in your bag, right? So I'm going to share that with you. What I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to share this in a group or 10. No, I'm going to share this in a group or two, and then we will get this party started. TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. The grind isn't finished yet. Whatever you call it, I came up with something a long time ago. This is a while ago, my life. TGIAND. Like, thank God it's a new day. Like, whatever day of the week it is, we should have that Friday feeling every single day of the week. Hey, it's up to you. You mimic it, you create it, you duplicate it. That feeling every single week, right? So what I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to share this in a group really quickly, and then we will get this party started. As you guys are coming in, go ahead and let me know who you are. You like to know who's in your house, and how are you feeling today? And drop me a line as long as it is a positive one. No nonsense. We're about giving back and loving, all right? So, yeah, drop me a positive line. Yes, so, like I said, we're going to be talking about BRRRR investing. And like I said, whether you're a seasoned investor or you're thinking about it, this is a great strategy that's, pretty easy for, your average person, regardless of skill in investing, can do, right? So I wanted to share that quick tip with you guys. Boom. Okie dokie, yes. Okay, so what is this BRRRR investing, right? So BRRRR, B-R-R-R. Yes. Hey, thank you for popping on. So B and 4 R's, or extra a couple R's, and we'll get to that. So what that stands for is you're going to buy, you're going to rehab, you're going to rent, you're going to refinance, and repeat. Now, this is real estate investing strategy. So you can do this with, a lot of people do single-family homes, multifamily, really any type of real estate, that can be bought and rented out. So even commercial properties you can do this with as well too, right? So the BRRRR, right? So why would this be a great investing strategy? So this BRRRR strategy, like I said, I'll go through that again. Buy, rehab, you're going to rent it out, you're going to refinance it, and then you are going to rent and repeat. You're going to do this process over and over and over again until you build a beautiful portfolio, right? So the benefits of investing in a strategy like this is that it kind of combines, the benefits of flipping houses with buying and holding rental properties, right? And I'm going to get a little bit more into that as I go throughout the live, right? So how do you do this strategy? Let's break each one of those little pieces down so we make it, work, It's got to make sense in order, it won't make dollars if it doesn't make sense. So we're going to make it make sense right now, right? So when you're buying your property, you're going to buy your property first at the right price, and this works best when you get a fixer-upper. Like I said, we're going to rehab this property. So in order to rehab this property, we need to get it at the right price. We're not going to pay full price for a property that needs work. It needs work. So we're going to buy it at the right price. We're going to make our money on the purchase on the way in. We're gonna make our money on the way in, right? So part of that strategy is you're gonna calculate your ARV. Basically, what is this house supposed to be worth? After it's fixed, after it's repaired, what is this house supposed to be worth? And is it worth it? Can I get it at the right price or cheap enough to I can put work in it and bring it back to where it is supposed to be. So you have to figure that out, if this is a good deal or if this is not a good deal. And not everything is a good deal. So that's the first part, is we're going to make our money on the way in. We're going to buy, right? We're going to buy it at the right price. Why we do that, like I said, the property needs work. So we're going to rehab it. It means we're going to fix it, whether you know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. You know, that's not something that you can just tinker around and play with. I mean, there's certain things that you can do if you're not licensed, you know, basically paint, carpet, simple things like that. Also check your city, county rules and regulations, what you need permits for or whatnot. But if you're talking about major things like electrical, plumbing, you know, and even if you don't want to do any of it, there's ways that you can still rehab a property and just manage the property, know what needs to be fixed, have a qualified contractor or licensed, you know, individual, you know, do it. Contractor, do what you need to have done, right? So we're going to rehab the property. And like I said, this is part of the strategy, because you gotta spend money to make money. You know, you got to spend a little bit of money to get the property where it needs to be in order to max out that ARV, or after repaired value. You know, what the house should be worth if it was in great condition, essentially, right? So after you've done that work, or you've hired someone who's qualified to do that work, which is a lot easier, depends on how experienced you are and, like I said, what your skill set is. After you've done all the work, you've made the home beautiful again, we're going to put a qualified tenant in it, right? We're going to put a qualified tenant in that home and rent it out, you know. We're going to make sure that we do it at the right price so that we cover all of our expenses, you know, and we're still making a profit. And I'm actually going to give you an example of how this can work after I go through all the different parts, right? So we put a tenant in there, we're renting out the property, right? So now what we got to do is we're going to refinance. So I'm going to back it up a little bit. When we buy the property, I mean, you can use your own money, you know, you're a cash buyer, you can use your own money or whatnot. A lot of people like to use OPM. You know, even cash buyers use OPM. Everybody uses OPM, other people's money, you know, or other people's credit, or other people's whatever it is, you know. You just got to find a way to put that deal together, right? So using OPM, using your own money, you're going to buy the deal. So in this example that he gave, and actually I got this, let me back it up, from a video, BiggerPockets.com. Brandon Turner, awesome and amazing investor. So much information, you know. You want some more information, definitely check out BiggerPockets.com, right? So in his example he gave, he said that he did this whole deal, you know, with no money of his own up front out of his pocket. Did that mean that he didn't have to pay? He still had to pay a cost to do the loan, obviously, and I'll get to that in a minute. But he did borrow the money to purchase the property, and he borrowed the money to do the rehab, right? So what he used was a private money lender. You know, there's different types of lenders, and I'll probably go into that in a new video, a different video. But just realize that there's people out there who have money and want to make a higher return on their money than just sticking it in the bank and getting a, you know, 3% or less, or, you know. So there's people who will give you money if you can make them money. So that's basically what happened in this transaction, is he used a hard money lender, and I'm just trying to make it, you know, to people who've invested can understand me and people who haven't, so finding a happy medium, right? So people who have money, who will loan you money if you can get them a greater return on their investment. So he used that resource to buy the property, to rehab the property, and this is a short-term strategy. Because like I said, even though he didn't pay money out of pocket, he's still paying monthly until that loan is paid off. So this is a short-term strategy, and I'm going to tell you how you exit this, you know, hard money loan, or, you know, this loan, right? So it's a temporary short-term loan. So you're going to put your renter in the unit. Then what you want to do is you kind of want to have just a little bit of time, the renter in there, maybe like 6 months. Definitely check your local bank, check your financing around what you're going to do, you know. So you're going to refinance with a bank, you know, conventional loan. You're going to refinance it with a bank. But what they need to see is basically seasoning. They need to see how long have you had this property and what is the rent, and are you actually making that consistently. They want to see how much this is making per month. They want to see it. So most banks, usually minimum 6 months, they want to have you have a tenant in place so you can show that rental history, and even show that you have a good tenant in there that's paying timely, right? Because that's important too, having a good tenant. So you need this to prove to the bank that, hey, I want to now refinance the property. So let's back it up. Remember, we brought the property at a discount because it needed work, right? So now we put the work in it. We got somebody renting it, so we're making money back a little bit now. And now we're talking to the bank about refinancing. But before they refinance, they're going to do an appraisal. So they're basically going to see, well, how much is this property worth now? So say you bought the property for $70,000, you might have put in $30,000 of work, but after putting that $30,000 of work, now it's worth $150,000, right? So now, like, we're looking pretty good. The price of the value of the house is looking like, exceeding our expenses, and that's where we want it to be. So at this point, the bank sees the numbers are good. You can refinance. Another trick that you can do at this stage, a lot of people will actually pull equity out, because now it has equity built into the property. So people will pull that equity out and maybe kick it into another property or something else that they're working on, right? So now you're getting money back when you refinance. Trick to the trade. So you've bought the property, you rehabbed it, you rented it out, you refinanced it, using all the tips or whatnot and doing different things. And now the last thing is to repeat, rinse, repeat over and over and over again. So you can do that, like I said, with homes. You can do that with duplexes, multiplexes, apartments, anything that you can rent out, commercial properties as well too. So this is an amazing strategy that, if you're new to real estate investing, would be a good place for you to start. If you're a seasoned investor, you already know what I'm talking about. You already know how this can make you money. As with any strategy, like I said, check your local lending rules. That's what I was about to get into, is there's risk with any strategy. Know your risk. One big thing is make sure you calculate your numbers correctly. Make sure you calculate your ARV, where you're thinking this property is going to be worth after you put the money in, because you don't want to be upside down. You don't want to put in more money than it's going to be worth, because every house has a cap. You got to think, what is around this house and what are these homes worth? Because usually on a block, you're not going to have one home that's $300,000 and then one home that's $150,000. They kind of stay around the same range in the same neighborhood. So you kind of have to, like I said, if you're not an expert at it, hire a real estate agent, property manager to help you figure it out. There's resources. So calculate your numbers right up front. Also know how much it's going to cost you to borrow the money short term. That's a good way to borrow the money, if you don't want to use your own funds. But know how much that's going to cost. Know how much interest you're going to pay. Know how long you should be in that loan before you exit it. That's why I said you shouldn't be in that loan for 30 years, because the private money lender, the hard money lender, they're not lending you money for free. They are getting interest. They are getting interest. So, but still, to get the deal done, you have to work around what you have to work around. But making sure that you're making money along the way, making sure that you can afford the cost of the loan, making sure that the rehab does not go over in price. So there's different things that you do need to consider with any strategy. But like I said, if the benefits outweigh the risk, hey, now we got a deal. Make it a win-win for everybody. So that's what I got for you guys. BRRRR investing. Basically, you're going to buy, rehab, rent, refinance, rinse and repeat. So that's what I got for you guys today. If you guys want some more information about real estate investing, if you're actually looking to buy some properties, go ahead and click the link in the description box above for more details. Check out our website and more information. I just want to say, you guys, thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing. Yes, all of that. And I want you to have a prosperous day and or night on purpose. Thanks, guys. Take care.